All right. Check, check, check. All right.
Warning, a new special marine warning has been issued.
Whoa, what are you guys doing here? How'd you get here? What's going on? Guys, I got my glasses back. My son broke them, but I replaced them. Look at that. Ray-Ban. Thank God I got insurance on them because they weren't cheap. My son snapped them in half. I wasn't even mad because he breaks like everything, so it's like, oh, it's just another day. Another day I have to spend more money replacing things. It's like so normal, you know? You just get used to it. You just wake up every day and go, all right, what are my kids going to destroy today? And when you have that mindset, you don't get upset anymore. What's going on? Meteorologist Mark Mayer. What's going on, Mark? Kira, I appreciate it. We're about to unveil. I don't know if it's unveil, like 6 new products next week, including some spicy merch, and I think it's
Warning,
really cool.
a new special marine
and
warning
I'll
has
just
been
say,
issued.
one is a windbreaker / raincoat. They do the same thing, and there's going to be multiple options, multiple colors, and I think it looks really cool. For the raincoats too and windbreakers, I'm making sure I choose the highest quality and highest rated stuff because, like, especially if it's like has to be durable. It's good stuff. What's going on, everyone? I see storms are firing up in Kansas. They are. Oh, what's going on, my drawing? Why am I lagging so much? There we go. They are. We're gonna get to this in just a second. I just got on stream, so give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure everything's working. Is Miami going to get hit by a hurricane soon? You know, probably not, but it's not a complete impossibility. Odds are low still. I'd say odds are less than 10%, I'd say less than 5%. Latest GFS run. I shouldn't even show you guys this. Puts a Cat 4, Cat 3 directly into New Orleans. June 12th. Guys, this is so far out. This is what we call La La Land, where models see, once you get past this like 200-hour range, it's super hard to trust these models. 9 times out of 10, once you get past even 150, 160 hours, 9 times out of 10, this is not going to be what happens. Not even close. But it definitely makes you think. And it definitely makes me want to pay attention to the updates. But no reason for anyone in the Gulf states, or for anyone in the Caribbean even yet, to be concerned. Just stay updated. I really want to show you guys the spicy merch. I can't yet. We have tons of big announcements happening this week in the next few days for this channel. You guys are going to be excited. At least I'm excited. I've seen the GFS been so consistent on that hurricane. Yeah, it has been consistent. The GFS is one of those models, I think sometimes, though, that's like, it's going down with the ship. You know what I mean? If it decides something, it's going to go down with the ship. It's going to die on that hill. Anything bad for Ohio the next couple days? So while we're here, I guess, let me show you guys. I usually like to not answer questions right away. I usually like to just give everyone the update of everything that's going on, severe weather, tropical, and then get into questions. So, oh yeah, Jasmine, I want to show you. It's cool. Courtesy of B. Okay, next few days. We do have a little bit of a threat. 2 days, south central Kansas through central Oklahoma, a little bit north central Texas, Red River. And then we've got that slight risk shifting down to kind of DFW, Austin, Houston type region. This is when we could see, I think, something more significant up in Nebraska, eastern South Dakota. And then our day 4, we could have a big risk. I think on day 3, this is going to really amplify. I think we could have a big central southern plains up through portions of the Midwest. Big day. And if you guys can't see that, this is what I'm talking about. I think this could be something significant. I'll get to all your questions. Let me just go over everything that's going on real quick like I like to do. Looking over our 500, our mid-level jet. It's actually looking, I mean, it looks pretty decent. This isn't bad. You can see all that divergence, southwesterly flow, even some southerly flow in the 500. But I think our 850 looks more impressive. Our low-level jet. There it is. Kind of classic outbreak potential type setup here. The instability is going to be there. We'll see if everything's timed up. All of our severe weather parameters. Let's see. Based on the Euro, we're going to have the instability up through the region on Tuesday. Not an enormous amount, but enough for sure. There's some good cape up there pretty far north. Let me take a look at some dew points. What are our dew points doing? There you go. Pretty sharp line here. 70s trying to, dew points in the 70s trying to reach up into southwestern Wisconsin. Not a bad line. Could be a pretty active day Tuesday. Maybe even Monday. We'll have to see. Rain soon in Minnesota. This should bring a lot of rain to Minnesota. Yeah, it should bring a lot of rain to Minnesota. Here's just a look at our future radar. This is potential heavy downpours as we move into Monday night, and then almost all the way through the day on Tuesday as well. For Minnesota, yeah. You know, watch what happens as this thing trails off. We get another nice burst of energy behind that through the Ohio Valley, Mississippi Valley region, Southern Plains region. So we'll have to watch a few days there for potential outbreak, or for that outbreak potential. What's going on here? Okay. We have No alerts, guys. Well, 2 active alerts. We have special marine warnings, as you can see. NTX, what's going on? Severe weather in OKC tonight? Potentially, yes, and it's going to be pretty late. I'll show you the latest on the HRRR right now. I'm watching this little cell moving into Cherokee, Medford, Pond Creek, Oklahoma, north central Oklahoma. See this guy's over there on the side? This little cell. There's some instability there, so we'll see. Confused Blonde and NTX, I appreciate you guys. Yeah, here, we'll look at the HRRR on Radar Omega. Our latest. Oh, it's the 00Z. Perfect. All right, maybe some more thunderstorms start firing off at around 10 Central. So, hour and a half. Here we go. And then this is when things get interesting. 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock Central Time, we start to get that kind of wall of isolated storms that want to kind of form together, potentially create a pretty big wind threat, MCS type, little miniature MCS type look, moving over OKC at around 4 a.m. or moving into downtown OKC at around 4 a.m. into OKC Metro at around 4 a.m., give or take an hour, depends where you are. So super, I mean, doesn't get much more nocturnal than that, 4, 5, 6 a.m. in the morning. And then that starts to move off down over the Dallas region. So we could have some early potential strong to severe thunderstorms in the DFW as well tomorrow morning. And I think you actually get a second wave tomorrow in Dallas. But we'll go over that in a second. Is it going to be a big summer for Georgia? You know, I think we're going to have an active first couple months of our hurricane season. So I think I'm staring at the tropics if I'm in these Gulf states. I include Georgia in that. It's close enough. Southern Georgia's, let's see, 36 miles from the Gulf. Close enough. We'll call you a Gulf state. Is it happening Tuesday or Monday in Minnesota? You have storms moving in Monday. You're probably going to get some thunderstorms Monday and Tuesday. You got storms rolling in. Let's look at our NAM 12K. You've got storms rolling in on Monday. Here we go. This is at around, let's see, this 6-2. Yes, that's Monday. This is 6-1. So the NAM doesn't want these storms to roll into, okay, so the NAM's saying Tuesday, all day Tuesday, and then a little bit of the day on Wednesday. Yeah, all day Tuesday and a little bit of the day on Wednesday. The Euro thinks you could have storms rolling in Monday evening, Monday afternoon even, possibly. Hail tornado outlook for Colorado Monday, Tuesday. Oh, look, that's where we have our special weather statements. What makes you guys so special? Here's our Monday and Tuesday. What's today? Saturday? You guys aren't in that marginal yet? At least, well, Eastern, Northeastern, out here in the plains. We're watching you. It's possible this extends out west to include Denver, Canyon City, Pueblo, Fountain, all these places out here. Colorado Springs and stuff, which I think is like somewhere in here. There it is. It's possible it extends out west. I don't think there's going to be much of a threat for you Tuesday, though. I don't think, but not impossible. But yeah, we could get those threats out there in eastern Colorado. We'll see if it ends up extending farther west. It's possible. We'll know tomorrow with the latest SPC, or yeah, with our SPC outlook tomorrow as we get into the day 3. GFS is going to be more accurate for the tropics. Yeah, if you were to ask ChatGPT or type it in on Google, which model's better for the tropics, it's always going to say the Euro, and I will politely disagree. Now, the GFS is just more aggressive in the tropics. It really tries to see that development really far out. The GFS, go back in time, I promise you, saw Milton forming in the Gulf and getting to its intensity that it got to, like 220 hours out. It was insane. In Helene, the GFS sniped Milton and Helene. It knew exactly what was going to happen. A ridiculous, like so far out. But again, it's wrong a lot too. But I'm just saying, if you see the GFS day after day after day show the same thing, it doesn't mean it's going to happen. It can still fall off, but you shouldn't just be, oh, it's the GFS. I don't trust the GFS almost at all when it comes to winter. But in the subtropics and in the tropics, it's more accurate. It just is. It just understands subtropics better than tropics. But yeah, it's wrong a lot too still. But I'm telling you, 5 to 6 times a year, 5 to 6 times every hurricane season, it'll pick out a storm 2 to 250 hours out. Everyone will say that's never going to happen, and then it happens. Every year. Every single year it happens. And then people are like, holy crap, the GFS saw that like 9 days out? Sometimes it just works. So I never completely discount the GFS. I've never seen the Euro pick out as that many storms that far out in a hurricane season. The Euro doesn't see anything until it's like 140 hours. It's actually terrible when it comes to tropics. How do you display weather alerts on your live streams? I have an overlay that is... You see this right here? You see this right here? This is a script. This is a script that's running. C script that's running. And it is connected to a site that is pulling information directly from the NWS. And anytime the NWS posts something, it goes to the site. And then it goes to this thing, which is then sent to my OBS. And then you guys see the alert. I don't know. My brother set it up for me because he's a software engineer. I understand kind of how they work, but I couldn't figure it out, and he just did it for me. So I said, yo, I need an overlay. And he said, I'm your guy. And I said, thanks. 15 minutes later, we were in business. What are brothers for? How do you, yeah. What am I thinking about for Iowa Tuesday? I'm thinking things could get very spicy for Iowa Tuesday. Yeah, I'd say right now it's not looking like we're going to have any chance at a high. Not that it couldn't happen. But I'd say a moderate is still on the table as a possibility. We'll see how models adjust. But a moderate through Iowa. Not saying that's going to happen either, but I would say an enhanced is almost guaranteed on Tuesday. Moderate's on the table, yeah. So that 4 out of 5 would be on the table. The Aurora Sunday night. I saw that. I saw pictures of that. People in New Jersey saw it through the clouds. Appreciate you, Kyle and Jasmine. This is our day 4. Oh, sorry. We're watching the cell in Oklahoma. Here you go. We'll go back to Radar Omega. Do you think Minneapolis will end up in the risk Monday or Tuesday? Yeah, it could end up in the risk zone both of those days. I think it probably will. Yeah, it's probably going to be in a marginal Tuesday, maybe a slight. Let's see what they have for the day 3 right now. Yeah, it'll probably end up being slight. It'll probably end up being slight both days, Monday and Tuesday. Potentially, or on the border of it, because these risk zones are going to expand. Blondie, what's going on? Appreciate it. Anything on Alvin? Oh, that thing is like gone. Here you go. Here's Alvin down here, guys. Sustained winds at 35 miles per hour. This thing is almost post-tropical cyclone Alvin. I mean, it's kind of a depression, but it's falling apart. But I think now, and I'll double check right now with the NHC, but I believe we have a pretty high development chance right behind it. There she is. 40% chance of development right behind it. That'll increase tomorrow up to 50 or 60. As the days get closer, they always increase it. Mark my words. It'll increase. Let's go back to day 1. I'm like, I feel like I can hear too much, and then I realized I didn't have my headphones on. Okay. Check, check, check. And now I can hear my voice. That's much better. How bad will Goodyear, Arizona get sloshed tomorrow? Are you guys supposed to get sloshed tomorrow? What's going on out there? Yeah, down there, southwestern Arizona. Ooh, you guys do have a, I wasn't even really watching the Southwest because of the severe weather and tropics, but that's a good call. Nice little low pressure. Ooh, you're gonna have some gusty winds in there too. Let's take a look at our total precipitation expected tomorrow here in AZ. Not a ton. Southern AZ could get a lot. Tucson, down in that region. But yeah, you're going to have some windy conditions and some heavy downpours for sure. They'll be moving through pretty quick. Yeah, Florida's good for a little bit, but guys, oh my gosh, you want to see something crazy, Florida? You guys have been in a drought? No longer. Let's look at your total precipitation totals over the next week and a half. Potential. This is... You're sorry. Let me put it so you guys can see it. I'm sorry. I didn't realize you couldn't see it. You know what this is? This is the hurricane the GFS thinks is going to happen. Ignore that. But yeah, no, lots of rainfall expected for central to southern Florida. Where's my chill background music? True. Yeah, let's put that on. Let's get the vibe on. You're right. What am I even doing? Let's see how quickly I can get it on. Go, go. Oh, no. I hit the wrong button. Go, 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 go. Is that better? All right, we're chilling now. Good call on that. I know. I got to get with the program. What am I doing? It is. It's a kind of a vibe, right? I've got like 26 songs on the playlist now. I need to keep expanding to it. I'm trying to get them all like the same BPM. Chill. I appreciate that, Blondie. Hey, yeah, if you're on YouTube, likes do help. Likes on the stream do help. They help you. They help you to be like, hey, maybe we should send more people over there. Jasmine, I appreciate you. I've kind of got TikTok figured out for the season. But YouTube, I'm trying to build on. I mean, you guys know I'm trying to end up doing this full time. Hopefully by the end of this year. Hopefully soon. There's things in the work. Hopefully soon. So yeah, anything helps. Anything helps. A like over there on YouTube. Anything helps. Engagement. I appreciate you guys. You know that. It's like I can't listen to you without it playing in the background now. Look. Yeah. Yeah. It's all copyright free. I pay Pandemic Sound. It's not a lot. Like, I don't know, $10 a month or whatever. $15 a month to be able to stream these songs on here. My YouTube and TikTok are attached to it so that they know, hey, don't take my video down. This music's allowed to be playing. Ew, EJ the Collector. Guys, that's my brother. That's my older brother. Remember the software engineer nerd I told you that set up my overlay? That's him right there, EJ the Collector. He's actually got a really cool TikTok and YouTube. It's literally called EJ the Collector, and he talks about, he collects comics, a bunch of cool stuff. If anyone in here is interested in DC, Marvel, collects comics, anything like that type of stuff, he's your guy. It's really cool. His page is really cool. Ava Branson area, where's that? Not much going on right now, guys. I am a little concerned about this storm firing up here in north central Oklahoma. Another slow stream tonight. Again, I'm not surprised. Not much happening. Crickets. There's crickets happening in our vicinity over here in the Western Hemisphere. But that'll probably change over the next few days. Ava Branson. Are we talking about... I appreciate that, Jasmine. You've conditioned us. I'm just trying. I wake up every day trying to think of a way I can improve stuff. I'm probably going to have a upgraded overlay again in the next week. We'll see. Wait, Ava Branson? Why can't I find this? Oh, I spelled it wrong. Are you talking about down in Missouri? If you're talking about down in Missouri, that could be active Tuesday. Nashville, Tennessee for this week. Sure, we can go look at that. Let's take a look at what's happening out there. Tennessee. We'll just take a look at our latest 18Z Euro. Let's just take a look at our future radar. Looking pretty nice. High pressure system trying to hang out over the Ohio Valley, but this obviously wants to sneak some moisture down beneath it. This is probably to do with we're going to have colder air up here to the north and warmer air down here to the south, so you're going to get that convection bubbling up in between. So maybe not the most fantastic Sunday that you've ever seen in Nashville, but then behind that we get into Monday. It looks nice. You know, nice high pressure sitting over there out east. We get into Tuesday. It looks nice. We get into Wednesday. We'll see here. You know, still wants. I mean, it has you nice until about Thursday night, Friday. But Sunday looks a little spicy. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, potentially Thursday look pretty good as of now. Temperature-wise, we can look at temp anomalies for your region too. Not bad. You're staying. Look at that. Well, I mean, you're staying below average temps for. I mean, maybe all the way through until almost Thursday. So that's nice. Wednesday. Maybe till Wednesday. I see my line of storms. Oh, Brandon, Missouri. Boom, 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 boom. Let me pull that up. Oops, that's Brandon. There's so many Brandons. Where you guys at? Brandon, Missouri. Yeah, that's a Tuesday. That's a Tuesday threat for sure. That's a Tuesday threat. If this thing goes enhanced or moderate, it's going to be near the center of the slight likely. So you guys have something to pay attention to as we get into early next week. That's for sure. Nothing to worry about quite yet. We'll see models change, but definitely significant low-level jet trying to pump through that region, bring up 70 dew points. We'll have definitely an elevated chance for severe weather across that region on Tuesday. Potentially very elevated. Yeah, I see a lot of questions about Missouri. I mean, this whole portion of Missouri, southeastern Missouri might be fine Tuesday, but we'll see how things shift. You guys would probably get involved Wednesday though. There's something in my eye. Bristow, Oklahoma. If I said that right. Leanne? Checking in with you. Yeah, you guys are in the slight tonight. We do see possible MCS type activity moving into your region at around 3 a.m. in the morning. So you have a nocturnal threat. Your driving severe factor is going to be wind tonight. We could have some strong straight line winds. We pulled this up earlier, but I'll pull it up again. HRRR00Z run, and we can see this thing trying to form into our mesoscale convective system as it pushes across and down into central Oklahoma. Here we go. Boom, consolidates right there. So you might still have a discrete setup as we're getting into around your area, Bisto or whatever. So we'll see. You could have a more significant tor threat there. But this is going to be windy, guys. Things going to be blowing around. What's going on, Cookie? What's going on? Is severe weather going to calm down anytime soon? Well, it's re-amping up tomorrow. First 2 weeks of June look like they could be extremely active with severe weather, unfortunately. You have to understand, we actually didn't have that active of a May. May's supposed to be our most active severe weather month of the year, and it wasn't that active, and I think June's going to make up for that. Yes, quadrant of the state helps if you're asking. Like, you know, you can, like there, I would just say central. If you're like out here, if you're in a small town, it takes me a little bit to find it. You can say like east central, northwest, south central. The regions are what's important. Forecasting weather down to a zip code is almost impossible. Perfectly. I hate this weather. It's 40-some degrees right now. I see next Wednesday it's going to be 90. Yeah, it has been very cold and windy in Philly. Guys, this has to be probably is going to end up being our record-breaking coldest like first 6 months of the year in Philly, like ever. I have to look into like the statistics, but I'm not lying, for a good portion of April and May, we weren't even getting out of the 50s and 60s. I think I don't know if it's tonight. Our feels like low. Our actual low tomorrow, June 1st, is 48 degrees. Our feels like low is 39 degrees in Philly. June 1st. We're getting into the 30s, feels like. That's crazy, but it's been like that. Last year was not like that. Last year, by the end of March, we were boiling in the mid-Atlantic. Like, by the end of March. But that's what happens. No 2 years are the same. Oh, yeah, the hoodie's been coming. I remember I ordered this and I was like, we're getting into summer. And now it's been like a month and I'm wearing hoodies every day. I should have put the sweatpants on the site too. PA does get tornadoes. Correct. Buffalo is so cold too. Tuesday, it'll be in the 80s. Yeah. We're about to get a good temperature swing. We are, because look what's happening. Just be careful on YouTube, man. I'm getting false strikes. We dealt with this with another streamer. Eden, what's going on? Sorry, I didn't see you. Check climate reanalyzer and to see if the Gulf of Mexico goes. We can check that in a little bit. Yeah, wildfires have been pretty bad. Well, Blondie, what do you mean by that? Be careful on YouTube. You'll end up getting false strikes. Let me know what you know. Yeah, let's look at this real quick. Let's look at our pattern. Why are we getting these temperature swings? Here's why it's cold up here, guys. Whoop. This is what we call a positive PNA. Ridge in the west, trough in the east. Cold air out here, warm air out here. This is changing. Yeah, this is changing. Here we go. We're going to get this trough digging down in the west. We're going to get this ridge building up in the east. Bye-bye cold air. Hello warm air right behind it. What's happening tonight for Tulsa? You do have some potential strong thunderstorms moving through in a little bit. We'll talk about that. I should have the climate reanalyzer on here somewhere. Oh, there it is. That didn't take too long. So I mean, we can look at actually, this isn't the one I usually use. Here you go. Daily sea surface temperatures, but I don't want to be in the world. I want to be in the Gulf of Mexico. There you guys go. All this stuff is very interesting, actually. Here is our, what is it? Like 100-year average. I'm going to sound like an idiot. Of water temperatures in the Gulf. The orange was last year. Okay? All right. That was last year. See where the black line is, the orange line is? We were a little bit warmer than normal in the Gulf last year. You guys see where we are this year? Same thing. Same thing. We did have an almost normal year, though, in 2021.
This special marine warning has been updated.
The Gulf was pretty average in 2021 until the end of the year. So you don't have to go back that far to hit the average. But Yeah, this is going back. Yeah, so this is going back all the way to 81. I lied. This is like 50 years. We're hot. We're hot. Anomaly. What is our exact anomaly right now? We're like 2 degrees Celsius above average. And this isn't trending down. I mean, you continue this, we're going to stay up here with last year's, most likely. Hotter that body of water is, the more moisture it puts in the air. Moist air is buoyant. We're going to get thunderstorms, convection. We're going to get tropical activity. Higher chances for tropical activity. It's all, you know, it's all simple. It all affects each other. This is really important to look at. I'm glad you told me to look at this, Eden, because this is important information. I didn't think we were even that hot. Second warmest on record, I guess, if this is correct, which I believe it is. Second warmest Gulf on record, at least within the last 50 years, but it wasn't this warm before. Love when chat gives me good ideas. Did my... One second. Live chat. What am I looking at? Oh, sorry. Why have the Chicago winters been less cold and snowy for a few years now? Well, because you guys were well above average. You were breaking your average snow for like a decade. I believe it was like the 2010 to 2020. Chicago saw brutal winters, and most years you were well above your snow average. So yeah, you're in a snow drought now, but that's how the climate works. A few years climate-wise is a very short period of time to not be hitting averages. Same thing's happening in the Mid-Atlantic right now. Listen, ask the Panhandle of Florida. They got like a foot of snow this year. Guess what? They average 0.01. Your winters will come back with a vengeance. We saw, I mean, I can pull this up. We saw some areas hit above average. We saw some areas hit below average this year. Let me show you this. Let me show you this. Where is it? La da 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 da. Well, there's our season accumulation. But that's not what I was looking for. Give me a second. I really need to organize my bookmarks better. It's because I have too many now. Oh, is this it? What the heck did I do? I think it was this one. No! Alright, this is when my Discord comes in handy because I put everything in my Discord. Weather links. Snowfall reports. Snowfall analysis, PSU. Here you go. This is what I wanted. Here's what I wanted. There you go, chat. Blue and purple saw a well above average. At least above. Purple saw a well above average winter. Red saw below average. White saw an average winter. Snowfall wise. So we had some good snowfall up here. Portions of upstate New York. Vermont. Northern Michigan. Mid-Atlantic did good. I mean, of course, everything down here did good. They had that big storm. Pretty good through this entire area. Pretty good on snowfall. That's a big area to be above average. Not terrible out here in eastern Colorado. Not terrible in New Mexico. Pretty good in Oregon. There's a lot of actually... It was a pretty split year. I'd say there was more... I don't know. It was a pretty even year. But yeah, look at this up here. Like... Northern Plains, Midwest, you know, going into the year, the Climate Prediction Center was basically saying this was all going to be well above average snow. But they were also predicting we were going to be in a moderate La Nina. We never even left a weak La Nina. We were in an Enzo neutral and a barely in a weak La Nina. So that's what threw everything off. They got the Enzo wrong, and then everything else falls apart in their outlook. Yeah, sorry. Let's get into Tulsa. Not much going on right now, but I do want to talk about Tulsa. We can look here again. Moving forward. This is the latest model. Tulsa could have some damaging, strong to severe thunderstorms moving in as early as 2. Probably a 2 to 4 a.m. threat. You're going to want to make sure you have alerts on. Nothing that's looking too violent, but there's a little bit of an isolated, discrete setup with this. So, very nocturnal threat for you guys tonight. ESW said, K-bye. K-bye. Yeah, I remember reading it was going to be record-breaking. Well, we had a record-breaking Gulf warmth and Western Atlantic warmth leading into winter. And typically, if you enter into a La Nina and you have that much moisture in the atmosphere, which we had, yeah, the Northern Plains, Midwest are going to do great. Great Lakes region are going to do great on snow. Just didn't happen. I will say, though, Marissa with the sub. Bam, 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 bam. I will say, though, Marissa, make sure you're in the, Marissa, are you in the Discord? Because we have a Marissa. Yeah, you're that Marissa. That's what I was going to say. I went to say something and I was like, I think that's Mod Marissa. Appreciate you, Marissa. I lost my train of thought. Oh, we did have a freezing. We had one of the coldest winters in the Mid-Atlantic in the last 50 years. I think we had the second coldest January on record through portions of the Mid-Atlantic, including Philly. Second coldest January on record, or in the last 50 years. Yeah, it was freezing. We didn't get over 32 degrees for like 3 weeks, which is crazy because our average high is 42 in January or something like that. So, yeah, that was cold. It was. You want it to be a little bit warmer, typically in that region for some snow to fall. To get some of those clouds above you. NTX goals, Southern Chick. I appreciate you guys. We do love Mod Marissa. Yes, correct. What's the scope of that possible hurricane? Oh yeah, we can. Okay, people are asking about the hurricane. We can get back into that. What's causing the Gulf to warm up second warmest? Again, well, we talked about this last time, Eden. Remember, we've had that high pressure. The Gulf has been in a drought. I know. How can a body of water be in a drought? There hasn't been a ton of thunderstorm activity over the Gulf in the past 4, 5, 6 weeks, and because of that warm water has not left the surface. There has been no upwelling. Upwellings when the warm water is evaporated off the surface, or it's moved with trade winds or currents off the surface, and colder water from beneath has to come up and take its place. It hasn't happened. So the Gulf has been heating up very quickly. I want this to actually disappear. 1 second. Let me do something, guys. All right, there we go. Expand this down. But yeah, we can talk about what's going on. Let's go to tropical tidbits. I always hit Western Pacific. We want Western Atlantic. Here's the latest. Take with a large grain of salt, like I always say. Water temps in the Gulf, 84 to 90. Spread across the whole thing. All you need is 74 for tropical cyclone development. 80, it can give you a good cyclone. They're all warm enough. They're all well above average. I'll show you that first. There you go. On fire. on fire. So, yeah, they're on fire. So, that's good for tropical development. If you want to know actual temperatures, there you go. 28 to 30 degrees Celsius. 27 to 30 degrees Celsius in there. Now, latest GFS model. We can get down here into the Western Atlantic. Yeah, it shows... It shows potential tropical cyclogenesis at about 180 hours out. You're not going to pay attention to this too much. It also shows another cyclone, and another low pressure entering the Eastern Pacific. It's going wild. It's going buck wild, the GFS. Don't put too much belief in this yet. But, yes, it does show like a Cat 3, Cat 4 making landfall in New Orleans. June 13th. I'm laughing because the odds of that happening are low. Not because of that's funny, but the odds of that happening are low. It's way too far out. Don't think I'm laughing because I'm like, ha ha ha, they're getting hit by a major hurricane. They're laughing because it's very unlikely, so it's funny that this is showing this. This is 100% our Bermuda high out here. This thing has been sitting out here for a while. This bad boy is supposed to be way farther off east. At least that was the forecast from NOAA. And it's not. It's sitting out here. That's going to be bad for us too when it comes to directionality of our storms. So we need that thing to float off. Go. You know what I mean? Like, do you even go here? Who do you know here? Leave. Because that'll help storms potentially float off into the North Atlantic instead of bothering us down in the Southeast or in the U.S. But yeah, we still see this. The GFS has seen this over and over again. The GFS the last 3 runs, has seen it go straight through Florida into the Carolinas. But again, we don't even have high confidence that this thing's going to develop, let alone we're going to tell you where we think it's going to make landfall. If we don't have confidence in development, we're not going to give confidence in landfall. I am still taking the money line on this thing becoming at least a tropical depression. I'm taking the money line. I'm taking the over. I'm not taking the over on a landfalling tropical system, though, in the U.S. Yes. Let me pin that. Oh, I need to make... Wait, Morgan, I need to make you a mod. I'll have to do that after. Send me a message. There's a couple people who I know I talked about making mods in here. Send me a message on my Discord so I can do that. I need to just send me... Or you have to send me what your TikTok name is, though, so I can add you as a mod in there. In TikTok, if you're going to be a TikTok mod. Because I'm going to have to... Like, what your @ is next to your name, because that's how I'm going to have to add you. Poke it. Let's see. I'm usually pretty good at drawing this thing, but I haven't drawn it in a while, so I feel like I'm going to forget. One second, guys. I'm fucking focused. One second, guys. One second, guys. One second, guys. I'm focused. I'm focused. Can you guys read that? Dude, come on. Do something. Oh, I forgot the come on. My bad. I'm joking here. I'm half joking. I don't need any hurricanes running into people's homes. I like seeing them developing and look strong and not tear apart people's lives, so that's a good time. You know, like tornadoes out in the middle of nowhere. It's a good time. Come on, do something. I did really bad this time. His arm is not supposed to even be like that, guys. It's supposed to be like this with the hand coming out. Whatever. You guys get it. Oklahoma. Yeah, we're watching that area right now for some possible severe weather tonight. Not much is going on right now, which is why I'm drawing stick figures on the screen. Just to be clear. Also, I think Jasmine told me to do it, so it's her fault, really. We have 0 active alerts. I can't remember the last time that I was live streaming and we had 0 active alerts. The fact that we have 90 people in here and we have 0 active alerts makes me very happy. What am I, just entertainment? You don't care about the weather? No, I'm just kidding. But we could have a little bit of spiciness starting to fire up here soon. We are expecting to see more thunderstorms fire off in this region within the next hour max, maybe 30 minutes. And these are going to be heading south down into from Clinton to Oklahoma City up to Tulsa. I would say definitely the biggest threat is winds, strong straight line winds, 60, 70 mile per hour plus potentially. And we could get some decent size hail up to 2 inches. We can't count out a couple or a few tornadoes. But it's a wind-driven threat, so I'm not super worried about tornadoes. They're possible. I'm a little bit worried about the straight line wind damage that is possible with this stuff. Overall, it's not a major threat from any front, but Daniel, he said the storm's going to explode in intensity. It's going to get more intense. With this setup, I wouldn't call it explode with intensity. We could let me look up the. Let's get nerdy and look at the mesoscale analysis, actually. Where am I going? 1 second, guys. Oh, I'm going here. Okay. Let's pull up the mesoscale analysis. And let's see what's actually happening in the atmosphere over OKC right now. Here we are. We pulled in. Let's look at let's just get right to it. VTP, violent torr parameter. Not much. Tornado risk, at least violent tornado risk, isn't looking too crazy, which is good. SIGTOR, effective layer, not looking too crazy. Nothing really there. And that doesn't mean you couldn't get a tornado, though. Surface base cape, again, this is something. It's not something I'm freaking out about, though. Okay, I need to actually make my taskbar come back because why does it keep disappearing? Let me show you this, guys. Here we go. About 2,000. I hate when it does that. About 2,000 to about 1,500 to 3,000 surface cape in this region. Pushing down into Oklahoma. 2,000 to 2,500. It's not bad surface cape, but it's also not like super alarming. It is severe weather surface cape, but it's not like significant severe weather surface cape, if you know what I mean, the difference. Let me also look at a couple other things here. Give me a second. We can look at our lapse rates. Not terrible up there in Kansas. Effective helicity at the surface. It's severe weather parameters, but this is nothing that's super. I'm not like super worried about this right now. Have alerts on if you're in south central Kansas and central Oklahoma, or most of Oklahoma. I would have alerts on, but you know, do I expect like a big severe weather outbreak today with what we're looking at? Not really. Or like a major storm? Not really. Doesn't mean it couldn't happen. We all know weird things happen sometimes. Where is... Am I going crazy? Oh, there's my dew points. I was like, what the heck? The dews aren't crazy either. 60s, mid to low 60s. I'm not overly concerned, but we're going to watch it for a little bit for sure. We'll see how it develops. We will see how it develops. Hoping to see more northern lights tomorrow. Oh, shoot. Wait, why is it detecting? Why is it saying that? All right, I need to make my taskbar show back up. It's really annoying me. Give me a second. There we go. Woo, it's driving me crazy. What's OKC looking like for tonight? Yeah, around 3 to 4 in the morning, we could have some strong to severe thunderstorms moving in. I do think wind is going to be the biggest threat. Strong straight line winds. Can't count out some small hail, 1 to 2 inch size hail, and potentially a tornado or two. not super high chances to see a tornado. I mean, here, let's look at our tor threat. You're in a 2%. It's a slight risk. It's a wind-driven and hail-driven slight risk. It's a wind-driven slight risk. What this 2% means is there is a 2% chance, if you're in this zone tonight, a 2% chance that within 25 miles of any point in this risk zone, there could be a tornado on the ground. So it's only a 2% chance, and even if that 2% chance happens, it's within 25 miles. Now, tornadoes are terrible and do a lot of damage. So any sort of percentage you should be paying attention to. But I just don't want people to be overly alarmed about tonight. But you should have your weather alerts on anytime you're in these risk zones. I mean, there was a tornado that tore through a neighborhood in Georgia a few days ago as we were watching. It wasn't even in a 2% zone. And it touched down and did a lot of damage. It was they didn't even have it in a toward risk zone. It was less than 2%. So you never know. You got to pay attention. Check out the space weather. I don't know much about space weather. Weatherwise is good and it is free. I pay for the $8 one. Why? I don't know. Actually, I don't know. There's really no reason for me to. There's actually no reason for me to. I mean, I guess I can do the 3D radar. Look. I can do the 3D radar because I pay $8 a month, guys. Look at this. Wait, let me show you. Oh, yeah, you can see it. Woo! Now, I'm just going to be honest. In my opinion, the 3D radar is absolutely pointless. Can someone tell me what the point of a 3D radar is? Look, all it's doing is showing you the beam. This is how radars work, by the way. There's a little... We're shooting radio waves off at a... I think it's usually, what, like a 2% angle or something like that. And it's deflecting off of water drops in the air, sometimes hail. And that it knows based on the correlation coefficient of the size that it's passing through. Size of the object that it's passing through. But, okay, cool. So, like, but what does any of this do for me on 3D? I don't know. Like, okay, cool. So... Oh, look, on 3D, I can see how high this is off the ground. Well, guess what? I can already see how high it is off the ground because that's the whole point of the colors. A red in reflectivity is going to be a much higher cloud top because the radar is reflecting off of or detecting water droplets much higher in the atmosphere. There's no point to 3D. Other than it looking cool. Other than it looking cool, there's no point to 3D. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I just always see sites like offer it. I'm like, I guess it's cool like to do sometimes, but oh no, how can I reset the angle that I'm at now? Oh, you see, now this messed me up. Am I back straight? Oh, there we go. Okay. It's so pointless, and like everyone does it. Storm tracks. Yeah, these storm tracks are wrong too. The storm tracks are pointless too. If we knew the exact direction that storms were traveling in, we'd be so advanced. It's not going to go like that. Storm tracks are pointless. 3D is pointless. You're right, actually. I need to unsubscribe and just use the free version. I just had an epiphany on stream. That's like the stuff you get with the. You're right. I need to stop. All right, let me answer some more questions. Sorry, I go off on tangents sometimes, guys. I can get the y'all something with this version, y'all mode. I don't need the paid version. Yeah, no offense to Ryan Hall. I've been watching him forever. Love the dude. He makes great content. I just don't care about the y'all mode. You know what I mean? Some people do, and that's awesome. They can use it. I just don't. Not gonna lie, if a radar gave me an opportunity to take like a Connor's Climate Corner mode, I'd probably be like, sure. Can't blame him. It's great business. I haven't used radar scope. I already used like 6 different radar. I use WSB3, radar Omega, weather-wise, windy. I use so many, I just haven't wanted to expand out more. What's going on with the wildfires in Canada? Honestly, I don't know what's going on with the wildfires too much in Canada. I'm pretty focused on the contiguous U.S. I do pay attention. I try to pay attention to what's going on in Alaska and Hawaii as well. But yeah, I'm not an expert on what's going on with the wildfires in Canada. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, 4 to 6 a.m. down there, southeastern Oklahoma tonight. I think that's about right. Let's look. I think we got our O1Z loaded on the HRRR. Southeastern Oklahoma, potentially 6, 7, 8. But these storms are really losing energy as they get down there. It's going to be likely much more of just a heavy downpours in the early morning. 6, 7, 8, 9 a.m. It's just going to be likely more heavy downpours. Daniel, I don't know anything about... Does anyone in here know anything about space weather? I mean, I understand I understand like how solar flares work and stuff like that. But like... you know, how the particles travel through space and then collide into our magnet bubble. Then they interact with the protons, the protons and neutrons in our atmosphere, and that's what creates the colors that we see. Like, I kind of understand that. It's supercharged. When you have those big solar flares, it releases supercharged particles into space. And they travel and they hit our magnetic field. And I think, no, it's the hydrogen. It's the hydrogen molecules. I believe it's the hydrogen molecules in our atmosphere that these superheated particles from the sun that are attached to a solar flare, that those particles interact with the hydrogen molecules in our atmosphere, and that's what creates the light we see. Someone can check me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I've literally made a video on it. Is global warming increasing or decreasing? Well, I'm not going to get into that. No. You know, we just saw growth. We just saw the Antarctic have ice growth this year. So it actually has more ice than it had last year. Our ozone layers are also factually closing right now. They're healing themselves. So that's good. The planet is warming, though. That's a fact. We're in an interglacial period. I say it all the time. If humans did not exist on planet Earth, the Earth would be warming. We go into ice ages. It gets very cold. We come out of ice ages. We go through an interglacial period. Then we go into the point. We're actually technically in an ice age. There's still ice on the planet. Then, you know, thousands of years from now, there's going to be all vegetation on planet Earth. There's going to be no ice. There's going to be no ice in the Arctic. There's going to be no ice in the Antarctic. Eventually, we'll fall back into an ice age, and the cycle will repeat itself like it has 7 times. At least an estimated 7 major ice ages. Yeah, global warming isn't a question of whether the planet's warming. It's a question of how is it warming at an unnatural pace? Is it warming at an unnatural pace because of humans? Because the warming is inevitable without us. But we don't want to speed it up too much. That's not good for us. Well, yeah. Well, listen. Elon said we'll have to live on Mars one day. Listen. Humans aren't going to live forever on Earth. I mean, our sun's going to explode one day. Meteor is going to hit our planet. A super volcano is going to explode. There's going to be like famine. There's a million different ways. Now, I don't think we have to worry about that in our lifetime, guys. Probably thousands and thousands of years. But it's probably not the worst idea. Probably not the worst idea to try to figure out how to live on another planet thousands of years from now. I mean, we found water under Mars, so, you know, Mars probably used to actually... There's potential Mars was similar to Earth. I'm not saying with like life, but with actual like vegetation and stuff like that potentially. So planets eventually die out, suns explode, all that stuff. So yeah, you know, we're not gonna have to worry about it in our lifetime. But you know, Noah has a space weather report. That's pretty cool. I'll check it out. A coronal mass ejection is coming. Ooh, spicy. I think that just means a large solar flare. Yeah. That super volcano movie from middle school lives rent-free in my head. There is a pool of lava under this region of the world, of the U.S. There's a giant pool of lava under here. They said that's equivalent to like all the water in the Gulf of Mexico, and it could literally erupt any day, and wipe out like this half of the continent. Now, don't worry, the odds of that happening are monumentally small, but hey, yeah. You've also got this fault line out here that's like 500 years overdue for a massive earthquake. Your Fujiwara plate slamming into the North American plate right here. I think it's Fujiwara plate. Someone correct me. Slamming into the North American plate. This is gonna snap eventually. It does. It's something like every 2,000 years. It's been like 2,500 years. It's 500 years past due. So that's gonna, again, probably not in our, well, could be in our lifetime, but we'll see. That's gonna be a big 9.0 out here somewhere. Tsunami. Guys, weather's great. This is why I like this stuff, though. I know that's like sounds scary, but all the chances of all these things happening are super slim. But like planet Earth is crazy. Planet Earth is crazy. Yeah, sometimes you can get on YouTube and look this stuff up, and you'll just get into a rabbit hole, guys. You'll never find your way out of it. Pablo, very off topic from what you usually do. Yeah, we have 0 active alerts. But is there any way you can see projected snow or something like that for North Washington this summer? Projected snow for North Washington this summer. Going there, it's gonna be tough. I mean, we can look at like 3-month outlooks from NOAA. This is probably like the best way to do it. You know, NOAA seasonal outlook. Yeah, we want. So this is our seasonal outlook. Expected to be not a shocker, well above average up here in the Northwest, and below average precipitation. So right there, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, I'd say snow chances even up in the mountains of there, northern Washington, probably below average over the next few months. That's other than that's kind of tough to tell. Could you not see what I just was on? Were you guys not able to see that? Oh, okay. I was like, all right. Because I do that all the time. No problem, Pablo. They're wanting to see what the snowpack looks like. Oh, what the snowpack looks like? Yeah, I have a link for that. I do. Wait, let me see. We can look at snowpack. I think we can actually look at it with the thing I pulled up before. Let's see. Why is this so zoomed in? Oh my gosh. Why is this? Oh, there we go. Snowfall report last 24 hours. I should be able to go back. Well, no, this isn't gonna be that's not what I'm looking for. Climate reanalyzer, maybe? Weather Bell is good for that. I only have Weather Bell seasonally. I could look that up on Weather Bell in about half a second. I just rarely use it over this time of the year, so it's like, why would I spend $70 a month on it if I'm not like gonna open it once? You know what I mean? I'm gone again. Climate charts. Snow depth. There we go. Snow cover. There we go. Okay, I need to pull this map out. Give me a second. Oh, let's go over. Oh, this thing is not moving where I want it to. What the? What? No, go up here. What the heck? Oh my gosh. This is your snow cover. There's a tiny little bit up in Washington, but very little. Very, very little. There's a better way to look at this map, and it's because I always do this in Weatherbell. So, unfortunately, I have it saved somewhere. What would you make the storm? What would you make the storm cluster? What would make the storm cluster explode in intensity? A more defined dry line, which there's not a defined dry line. More instability, more surface cape. There's not a absorbent amount of surface cape. Timing difference. You know, where nocturnal storms have a little bit more trouble. They don't have that daytime heating. Yeah, I think my YouTube's like 15 seconds delayed. That's what happens when you stream to YouTube. It's not just me. It's every person I know who I've asked them. They all say yes. Like everyone I know who dual streams, they all say yes. My YouTube's 10 to 15 seconds behind, which is like not really. It's like whatever. It's 10, 15 seconds, but I don't understand why that happens with them. Maybe I can switch that. I don't know. Maybe it's a settings thing. I don't think so though. I've looked. Well, now I know you're watching me on both. All right, guys, we do have a special weather statement now. Pond Creek. I guess we've had it for a little bit. Nickel-size hail. Minor damage to outdoor objects as possible. Now we're getting a little bit of something out here. There's still some Mazuta. Yeah, there's not tons left. Okay, where was the dog? Can someone tell me where the dog was that we're talking about? Where was the dog? It was a river outline? Oh, man. I don't know where it was. Sorry, guys. Sorry to break your heart. In my radar map? Well, which one? Because I have multiple ones. The blue one? All right, let's get to the bottom of this. In this one? You see it? Right side. You guys are trolling me. Okay, is it like up here? Lower? Like, are we talking about like this? I'm not looking to the left, guys. The map is here. Down more. Oh. Oh. Oh, are you talking about like this is the dog? Is that what you guys are talking about? Kind of, maybe? I guess. A little bit of a stretch. Yeah, for anyone who's in here wondering if this is how streams normally go, no, it's not. We just have nothing going on. Gen Xter 69, go. Appreciate you. I'm like, I guess. I like that there's no severe weather, but oh my gosh, also. These storms are firing up just like expected, though. You can see them now. They are firing up just like expected. So the HRRR's done a pretty good job so far. They're all starting to come together. You got some behind it as well. I don't want to look at the space weather forecast. Okay, fine. Space weather. I mean, it is kind of cool. I'll give you that. It's kind of cool. Okay. There's the sun. There's the Aurora Borealis. Okay. All right. Cool beans. Oh, you can see these flares out from the sun. That's kind of cool. Oh, sorry. Wait, what the heck? You guys can't see it? Hold up. I'll get you guys. I'll get you guys to see it. Un momento, por favor. Yeah, you can see these the like sunbursts here. Okay, let's go back. Here, look. Whoa. What's that, a spaceship? What's this thing out here? Okay. Pretty cool. Is there an explanation in here of what's going on? Saturday. Okay, geomagnetic storm. A coronal mass ejection and an eruption of solar material and strong magnetic fields. When they arrive at Earth, a geomagnetic storm can result. Watches at this level are very rare. Oh, yeah, we've got a G4. So it's a level 4. I mean, I understand the geomagnetic level 4. Yeah, it's a severe one. So, expectation. A CME is anticipated. Coronal mass ejection. It's anticipated to arrive and impact Earth earlier than originally thought. New analysis suggests arrival is possible as early as mid-UTC day on the 1st of June. Tomorrow. The potential for elevated geomagnetic response remains. This is the smallest thing ever. Let me get in here. The potential for elevated geomagnetic response remains dependent upon the strength and orientation of the embedded magnetic field. Yeah, we have the magnetic field is much thicker near the equator, and it's much thinner near the North and South Pole. So it does depend. The tilt of the Earth depends what happens with a lot of these solar bursts. But the potential exists for severe storm levels. Effects. Detrimental impacts to some of our critical infrastructure technology are possible. Okay, but mitigation is possible, and key operators have been notified. The general public should visit our webpage to keep properly informed. Should G4 levels occur, aurora may become visible over much of the northern half of the country, and maybe as far south as Alabama to northern California. Well, that's exciting. Connor's like, just give me hurricanes. Yeah. Let's say it's cool. Yeah, negative PNA can warm the Gulf. Eden, we talked about this yesterday. A negative PNA can put a ridge out east over the Gulf. Yes, it can warm the Gulf. It can. I'm discording and streaming at the same time. Okay, well that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool stuff. Let's check and make sure everything's good over here. Oh my god, still 0 active alerts. That's incredible. This is technically an alert, but these storms are starting to get a little bit of energy. I might call it an early night, guys, just because, you know, fortunately, we've got nothing too bad going on. I do think this is mainly just going to be straight line winds, but I have a weather alerts on in case anything else happens. Could you show us how to read models when you have time for severe setups? Oh, yeah, you know, maybe I should do that right now. It's not the best time, though, because not much weather is going on. Not much bad weather is going on. Here, let me just pull up Pivotal and show you what I do before severe weather days, the things I look at. I'll do this real quick, and then I'm going to go hang with Wifey. Okay. First of all, really quickly, guys, there's a lot of different models here. You've got global models. Your global models on Pivotal Weather. I use Pivotal Weather a lot because you guys can use it for free. Here's our global models. It literally says global. So I guess I didn't need to show you that. Global models, these are our models that can see long range. So they're typically not as accurate in the short to mid range, but the other models can't even try to guess what's going to happen long range. We have our regional models. These are models that are only going to see in the US, basically, in America. So then we have our convection allowing models. Now these are our short range models. These are great for severe weather once we're within at least 84 hours and really good within 24 to 48 hours. Much better with 24 to 48 hours. HRRR is kind of king. High resolution rapid refresh model is kind of king just because you get updates from it every single hour. They've put a lot of work into the HRRR compared to some of these models. The NAM 3K I really like. I think I forget if the HRRR is the 3K model as well. So it's basically taking a sample every 3 kilometers. Instead of like 12, you have the NAM 12K. So you get more detail. You get more detail the smaller the KM, the kilometer number gets. You've got the Rufus, which is actually... This is still, I believe, kind of an experimental model, but it's our first short range that's seeing 84 hours out. So that's pretty cool. You have this one down here, but I wouldn't use that MPass. MPass HN, another good short range model. Anyways, I don't need to go into all these details. You guys get it. Then we have our ensembles. Our ensembles are cool because they're taking like all of the different members. If I look at the EPS, this is going to take all of my different... The Euro model is going to take in the data, and it's going to shoot out 50 possibilities. And our ensembles are going to average together the possibilities. So it's actually pretty cool. So it gives you the average, basically. Anyways, for severe weather, I like to go into the HRRR, especially if we're within 48 hours. Come down here. We'll look at severe weather. This is our severe weather section. So let's take a look at tomorrow. Let's take a look at tomorrow real quick. And what I'm actually going to do, just to cheat real quick, let's look at our day 2 categorical. So Eastern Texas, let's take a look down there in Eastern Texas tomorrow. I'm just going to go regional, and I'm going to go down to Eastern Texas, and we're going to go to our reflectivity under severe. Here we go. Now, when you see these little things, this is a bad example because we don't have a lot. I don't know if you guys can even see this or if it's too small. You get these like little black ovals. That's the radar saying, that's the future radar saying, hey, we think this could be a supercell. Very high cloud top, strong updrafts, hail, wind, tornado potential. Now, again, we don't really see much happening tomorrow, so I'm looking at this being like, not see much happening. But you can see we get a little bit more action as we get into Sunday. Not much, but you can't just look at one model. That's our HRRR. Okay, let's compare it to our NAM 3K. What does our NAM 3K see? Okay, well, it sees a little bit more, and what I'm looking at is it sees it in the same general area. So they agree, at least in the same region, a possibility of a supercell. So model consensus is extremely important. Let's go take a look at what our Rufus sees for tomorrow. Does it see same area, same timing? Not really. Rufus doesn't see much development at all. This is a bad example because there's just not supposed to be much down there in Eastern Texas tomorrow. It's not a huge risk. We can take a look at stuff like our surface-based cape. Cape, convective available potential energy. All this is telling us is the instability that we have near the surface. Associate this, the easiest way to think about this is where you have more instability, you have the potential for stronger updrafts. Because instability comes from clashing air masses, whether it be dry, moist, cold, into warm. Clashing air masses force one of the air masses down and force the other air mass up. So that upwards motion is going to be associated with strong updrafts. So surface-based cape, if you get strong updrafts down at the surface, that is usually going to mean the potential for some big hail or tornadic activity. But you don't just need strong updrafts, you also need some rotation. Because you can have the strongest updrafts in the world. If you don't have any vorticity, helicity down at the surface, your cells aren't rotating, it doesn't matter. You're going to get big hail, you're not going to get tornadoes. So, okay, we've got a lot of surface-based cape in this region. I'm going to take a look at what's going on with like our EHI, our energy helicity index. And look at that, helicity. This is, your vorticity is the actual spin. Your helicity is like the violence of the spin, the turbulence of the spin. We've got some helicity in this region. We've got good surface-based cape. Okay, we may have some rotating cells in this region. We see that we have the cape values there, which is our updrafts. Okay, we have rotation parallel to the surface, and we have strong updrafts. Strong updrafts will tilt that rotation that's parallel to the surface, tilt it up into an actual perpendicular tornado. So so sometimes I'll take a look at this type of stuff and not agree with the HRRR on where they're putting their tor risk. But sometimes the or the SPC. But sometimes the SPC sees these changes, but they can only release their updates every certain amount of time. But we can get ahead of them by looking at this stuff. And then we can look at our significant tornado params. There you go. SigTor params. Let's click right here. Pull up a sounding tomorrow. This is around, you guys know, but better than me, this is way down south of DFW. But this is the 21Z, so take back 5 hours. That's 9, take back 5 hours. This is around 4 p.m. Central Time. On Sunday, actually. Yeah, on Sunday. Tomorrow's Sunday. Okay. Let's pull up the sounding. 2.1 SigTor. Here's our cape. 86 degrees over 75. Humidity. That's pretty good. This is a pretty good amount of cape. So this is your lapse rate. This is your parcel of air right here. This parcel of air wants to freely rise. If it can freely rise, it's going to pull moisture into the upper atmosphere. That moisture is going to condense, release latent heat. That latent heat is fuel for thunderstorms. Now, there's nothing keeping this parcel of air from rising based on this sounding tomorrow. Here is the temperature of the atmosphere as the parcel is rising. The actual red is the actual temperature of the atmosphere as the parcel is rising. If this temperature near the surface if this temperature gets in the way of that parcel, sometimes you see it go like that. Well, this parcel's not going to rise through that. This parcel cannot rise through a pocket of warmer air above it. It needs to have cooler air above it. If you have warm air above you and cool air at the surface, that is a stable environment. If you have cool air above you and warm air at the surface, that warm air is going to go straight up. So sometimes your environment says, we're going to keep it a little bit warmer up here, and it looks like we're going to have a violent day. And no, it ends up you don't. That's our cap. That's our cap. We have all of this energy at the surface that wants to explode into severe weather, but we have a little pocket of warm air. Can't make it through that pocket of warm air. So that's what's happening here on the skew-T chart. You can also see wind direction. Look at this. You've got like westerlies and the easterlies. There's a lot of like weird rotation happening there. This is what's called our hodograph over here. You can see this is just, imagine this is the direction of the winds. They're rotating. This is the direction and velocity of the winds. So the actual direction like this, that's the direction. And then the velocity is how far out these lines get from the center of the hodograph. So you can see we're up here at about 30 knots. This is the center. So you can see direction of wind with elevation on the hodograph. Possible hazard type, Tor. Effective layer, SigTor param. This is what matters, 4.0. You can get a significant tornado at a 1.0 or above. Effective layer or fixed layer SigTor param. This is at a 4.0. Massive surface cape here, 4,200 being predicted. There's going to be a hail and Tor chance here. Now, what's not impressive, the one thing that's not super impressive about this is the SRH and shear. For tornadoes, you want, I would say, a significant tornado somewhere a little bit closer to, you can get it with 20 knot shear at the surface, but 25 to 30 plus knot shear at the surface is going to do it for you. We're at 20. That's good. It's not that high. Storm relative helicity, 115 above, you can get a strong tornado. It's at 182. What's really keeping this from being a potential violent day, in my opinion, is our velocities down at the surface. Our low-level jet is not cranking that much. That also is related directly to our low SRH and low shear values down at the surface. So the rotation with these cells and the intensity of the rotations isn't quite there, but the actual like updraft and the instability is there in the atmosphere. You need everything at the same time for strong tornadoes. So you just take. I'm gonna put together a video for everyone in the Discord and for everyone who's part of the comic crew, and I'm gonna go over this in much more detail. But these are all the things that we're looking at and that I'm looking at, and that's why, you know, some people will just take the SPC's word or CSU or blah 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 blah. It's a lot more fun to actually read what's, because the SPC is looking at these models too. They're looking at the same thing to make their judgment, but they can't update. They can't update. You know, they're only giving updates every 3 to 6 hours. We can look at updates real time. We can look at the climate reanalyzer and see what's actually happening currently in that area. We can just pull it up, and all that stuff I just showed you. This is it live. If I go here, this is everything I just showed you. This is it live right now. Like, this is what's actually happening. That's a forecast in the sounding. This is what's actually going on in the atmosphere, and we can look at everything. So thermodynamics, surface-based CAPE, everything, dew points, temperatures, wind, everything. This is a whole nother beast though, reading this. But yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do trainings in the Discord, and we're gonna do videos, and we're gonna do all that. I promise you, it's gonna be coming soon. It's gonna be awesome. All right. No problem. No problem, guys. I forgot what it was like having been in school for years. Yeah. Weather is the only thing that I will enjoy talking about or teaching. Why is sea surface temperatures higher than 2023? Again, down there, Eden, Western Atlantic, and Gulf, we've just had a high pressure sitting there. We haven't gotten that upwelling that can help cool the waters. Can you check Kansas City, Missouri area for tonight? I think you guys are going to be good. We can take a look really quickly at our convection. HRRR, I can't believe we've had 0 active alerts this whole time, guys. We'll take a look at our HRRR here. You guys got some thunderstorms wanting to fire off to your southwest, but what looks like it's as good is... This is the latest HRRR, and it really doesn't see those moving over Kansas City, Missouri. Not impossible, but it really wants to keep those things pretty far to your west. I know. Yeah, true. No, jinx it. Does GFS have any intensification bias? Heard someone mention it with its Caribbean prediction. I'm gonna die on this hill, and I don't really care. The GFS is better for hurricane season than the Euro. I know AI is gonna tell you different, and people will tell you different, but I don't care. Hurricane season's my thing. I know more about hurricane season than anything else. I've been in the eye of 3 hurricanes. My uncle was a meteorologist when I was young and living in Florida. It's all I studied. I've looked at so many. I've been through so many hurricanes. I know so much about the history of it. Maybe I'm wrong. Fine, but I'll die on that hill. The GFS does way better in the subtropics and tropics than it does up here in the U.S. I rarely look at the GFS over 100 hours. Over 72 hours. It's the Euro. The Euro is king or queen, whatever you want to call it, up here in the States. Once you get down to the subtropics, central to southern Florida, and then down into the Caribbean Gulf area, like, the GFS does pretty well. It's yes, it's going to be wrong a lot because it's trying to see it's trying to predict tropical cyclogenesis 360 hours out. So people are always going to give it crap because it's going to be wrong a lot. But the fact that 5, 6, 7 times a year it does see a storm 200 plus hours out, and it's correct, like it was with Milton and Helene last year, over 200 hours out, it saw where it was going to form and when it was going to form and the intensity originally. The fact that it can even do that a few times a year is ridiculous. That is crazy, and it needs to be given more credit for that. But yes, you have to take anything, it doesn't matter what model it is. If it's past even like 100 hours, you can't believe it at face value. And if you do believe it at face value, that's your problem, not mine. I'm not talking to the person who asked the question. I'm just like in general, you know what I mean? Wichita, Kansas. Yeah, here, let's look. Again, a lot of these storms I think are going to fire up to your south. Yeah, I think you guys are good for tonight. All these storms want to fire up south. The latest HRRR really, they were worried these storms were going to initiate a little bit farther up there, but they're all down here. They're all down here. You guys are looking pretty good tonight. I'd still have alerts on. Chicago Tuesday. Yeah, we'll see. Chicago Tuesday could get in on a slight. Let's go back out to our day 4. Yeah, you guys could get a slight, maybe even an enhanced if this thing expands enough. It's going to grow tomorrow. You'll see this region grow. You're going to see a marginal potentially add it. We'll see it expand. Are the cells tonight tornadic? It's 2%, not a super high risk. There's a little bit of rotation potential tonight. But anytime there's a little bit, you want to be alert. You want to be aware. One second. I gotta get off here in a second. Is Arkansas still under the gun for more tornadoes? Northwestern Arkansas, we could get a little action tonight. And then going into day 2, you guys are looking pretty good. I will say, getting into next Tuesday, we're going to have to watch you guys. We'll have to see where that severe risk zone goes. I'm getting into day 2. Getting into the upcoming Tuesday, we're going to get, this risk is going to expand out. I wouldn't be surprised if the slight expanded out. What is surface-based lift index and the surface-based LLC height? Well, it's just the surface-based lift index is taking into account the temperature. It's taking a... think about the best way to describe this. It's taking a... what's the word I'm looking for? Not a real... It's taking like a figurative parcel of air and looking at the temperatures and dew point of that parcel, what the possible temperature and dew point of that parcel of air may be, and it's using that to predict the strength of the updrafts at the surface. That's what the surface is for. I shouldn't have to, but I don't have to explain that, but there's all sorts of different ways you can look at lift. Through instability, through just looking at your dry lines, through temperature and dew point differences. But I believe the surface-based lift index is using temperature and dew points and using a figurative like parcel of air, taking the temperature and dew points at a certain period of time and trying to give you the surface lift potential from those products. I don't know. Some of the stuff I understand in my brain, it's hard to explain. Unless I have time to put it in a video. Also, like there's a lot of stuff you don't even need to know. I don't think I do use that sometimes though. Surface-based lift index. Guthrie, Oklahoma tonight? Sure. And then I think I'm going to get off, guys, because I do want to... there's been 0 alerts this whole time. I'm going to hang out with my wife a little bit. Guthrie, Oklahoma. Yeah, let's look at you guys tonight real quick. I appreciate mods being in here, even though nothing was happening. We're going to have a fun next few days, I can tell you that, though. Well, Monday and Tuesday is going to get interesting. And it's Tuesday. We have a good... the meeting tomorrow is going to be exciting. So let's go back to our O1Z for you there in Guthrie. Here we go. Getting to around, I mean, you could see your thunderstorms rolling through as early as 2 a.m. Central. They want to stay out to your east, but again, look at it's like they're parting the Red Sea around you. But 2, 3, 4 a.m. 2 to 5 a.m. you're going to want to have a way to get alerts. Straight line winds is your biggest threat. Hail and tornado, you can't count out. Yeehaw! Ride him, cowboy. 100% missed it. You still make me do it. I'm just not doing it with the hat on. No. Don't ban or mute Benji. I just want him to sit in here and talk crap. Sometimes it's funny. Law in Oklahoma. Okay, last one. All right, here we go. Lawton, you could have storms rolling in around 5 to 6 central. The HRRR wants to keep the significant thunderstorms, potential severe thunderstorms out to your east. But this is a model looking into the future. They're never perfect, so you're in that slight risk zone from the SPC for a reason. Let me look at the day 2 for you actually as well. Yeah, that your threats way to yourself. Oh, the trolls. All right. I'll ban him now. I'll block him. Here you go. Block account. All right, guys. I appreciate you being in the stream. Hanging out. At least nothing eventful happened, but at least people got updated with what's going on in Oklahoma tonight. We did a little learning. We figured out about a freaking G4 space solar flare event. Mass coronal ejection that's slamming into the planet tomorrow afternoon. So, that's good to know. Hopefully we are prepared. And hopefully it doesn't go to a 5. Level 5. You guys are awesome, though. Fun meeting tomorrow with the mods. New merch coming out really, really soon with some spicy stuff. And, yeah, all sorts of stuff. 2 new merch giveaways, too, since we're getting into a new month. So that'll be fun. And we'll include the new spicy merch. Anyways, we're probably going to have a couple pretty active streams, so I think mods will be really important this upcoming week. We're going to see, there's potential for more tropical development. We'll see, or at least the run's getting closer in the GFS, and we have severe weather, decent severe weather for a few days upcoming early to midweek. So we'll probably get one of those days where we've got the chat flying, and you guys will be helping. Oh, Emma said solar flare. Yeah, we should be good, though. Okay, fine. Edmond, Oklahoma, but then I gotta get off. Your storms look like they could roll in, I would say as early as 3 a.m. It looks more like 4 to 7, 4 to 8 in the morning. Again, wind's your biggest threat. Can't count out a tornado or hail. Chances of those are low. Not low. Chances of a tornado are low. Wind and hail, we need to watch out for it now. All right, I appreciate you guys. Well, solar flares typically aren't dangerous to like humans. They're dangerous to like electric infrastructure. You know what I mean? So it could be like a major inconvenience, unless it does go to this like G5 level. But yes, solar flares hit superheated particles from the sun slam into the planet every single day. That's why there's constantly aurora borealis in the poles. Solar flares hit the planet all the time. This is just a little bit more of an enhanced one. Cars would be okay. Wi-Fi could struggle. Yeah, but I think we'll be all right. We've had these events happen. I think we had G4 last year or this year already. So I know we had one last year. I know we had a level 4 last year. Yeah. Yeah, they're saying that's what caused a power outage in Europe. I don't know. I think that's a cop-out because we always detect these, and they're saying they just didn't detect it. We have things like staring at the sun 24/7. All right, I got to get off. See you guys. I appreciate you.